Hello and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday. This is a bit of a unique video, probably because I haven't got anything new, no reviews or painting things or bat reps or anything like that, so I thought I'd upload this video now because I probably have got other things in the works and I'd rather put up a decent video than no video whatsoever. So this is why you've got to this one. It's going to be a Warhammer 40,000 kind of rulebook nostalgia video, and for me nostalgia really started here, and I think that is Warhammer 40,000 3rd edition. Please do put it in the comments if I'm wrong or anything like that, but for me I think that's 3rd, because if you go along the time frame, the time scale, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and then 7th, and I know that 6th and 7th there's a bit of a debate at the moment whether this one is actually 7th. I think it's just a big upgrade to 6th. I don't think they've really changed the core mechanic, so to speak. Yeah, they've added the psychic phase and they've changed other things, but I think it's relatively similar to number 6. So I'm going to take you for a little journey, start you off with 3rd edition. Okay, so now I've brought everyone down to this level. This was my first introduction to Warhammer 40,000, and it was absolutely ages until I got this rulebook. Ages and ages. I'd collected a Space Marine army for quite a while before I managed to get my hands on this codex. I will be doing a nostalgia codex video in a separate video, obviously. I'll be looking through the ages, comparing all the old Space Marine ones in one separate video and the Orc ones and the Eldar ones. Alright, I might have a couple of gaps in there, but I think that those warrant their own separate nostalgia videos. So, and I thought that this might be interesting because you can see how the hobby's progressed. Those of you that are new to the hobby with the new rules or the new 3 books of the rules, or 1 book of rules and 2 books of fluff and pictures, might find this interesting too. You might find that this is what it used to be like when I was your age. So this for me was the first kind of rule book. It was big. It was almost like the biggest book I'd ever seen as a kid. It was, we used to talk about how it was, what is it, 280 pages, 260 pages? There's so many pages, they just stopped counting the pages towards the end. They stopped at 263, so I would say that that's about 270, 280 pages, and I finally got my copy probably about half a year to a year after I started collecting, and that was because I bought the box set. And I think the box set had the rule book, it had a small Space Marine force, which I've still got to this day, and it had some Dark Eldar, which I sold to a very good friend, because that was just a thing you did back then. If you got the 2 armies in the box set, you'd sell the other army that you weren't collecting to a friend and all the rest. So this is the 3rd edition rulebook. I don't know why, but I've got an update thing here, and this must be the rules update for 2004. So there you go. I mean, that's to do with the 2000. I don't know why it's in here, but so yeah, produced by Games Workshop. What date have we got here? We've got 1998. All right, so I may have got into the hobby around that time, 16 years ago. Yeah, probably that's about right actually. So anyway, some really nice artwork and things, but I never really understood why some of it was in colour and some of it was in black and white. And the artwork is fantastic in this book. I mean, it's you really do remember the artwork. It really just captures your inspiration, and you feel inspired to collect the hobby. And look at these models that they had back then. Look at them. I'll show you. Look at these models. An Orc Slugger Boy. He's tiny. an ultramarine space marine. So an ultramarine space marine. Chaos, you know, you Dark Eldar, Gene Stealer. That Valken, I don't think that's even... Oh, sorry. That Valken tank, I don't think that's even changed. The Guardians have. The Gretchens haven't changed that much. Sisters of Battle are pretty much the same, if not similar. And look at those. It's almost like you're looking at Warhammer 30k now, aren't you? Small Terminators, Metal Dreadnought. Look at the Land Speeder. Look at that funky thing. And the really, really small tanks, like the Rhino and the Razorback. Tiny, but shows you typical Marine Army. Look how young Andy Chambers looks there. So yeah, goes through a little battle report and everything. Collecting an army when you could collect an army for about £100-ish. Now that's no way. You can't even get... Well, I'm not going to moan in this video at all. But today, just to get the new releases for Orcs, I think they do a set now just for the new releases. I think they're charging £363. And that's just for the new releases, not a full army, really. I mean, I suppose you could use it as an army with their unbound rules, but anyway, look at all these. Look at all these war game tables. This is excellent. Some nice pictures, and look, you got the huge damage chart, and it's all in black and white, and you gave your armour, and you had Orc heavy armour, mega armour, aspect armour, Terminator armour, Tyranid warrior carapace armour. So yeah, you had all these, and you had integrated artwork, which looked awesome. I mean, look at that. It looks like they could be real weapons. I mean, really inspired me with the hobby, even though it's just black and white. Look, and you had all these size tables and things, diagrams and more art. Look at that, that's incredible. You got the standard missions, and it even gave you some army lists at the back. Look at this. This is when you got force organisation charts, and it changed them through different battle missions. So you got Space Marines. It gave you a load of overview of the rules, and it gave you some army lists. So Space Marine army list, right? And it gave you Dark Eldar army list. And then it gave you Tyranids, an Eldar, and Chaos, a lot of Chaos, Imperial Guard, Orcs, Sisters of Battle. Even Sisters of Battle were given some love, even an Immolator. And then you got some Heroes of the Imperium, so you even had some Inquisition. So really it covered as much as they possibly could. You didn't have Tau back then. You didn't have Necrons back then. Well, I don't think you did, not in this. You might have had it in the fluff, but they certainly didn't have any models for them. They were just the main armies. You got your Imperial Guard, your Space Marines, a little bit of the Inquisition, like some Assassins, your Sisters of Battle, your Tyranids, your Eldar, your Dark Eldar, your Orcs, and your Chaos. You didn't have like a demon separate army or anything like that, and they were your main armies. It's incredible, isn't it? So, and you had army lists for all of the armies in the back. You had huge sections of pictures. You had all the rules. You had everything in there in one book. Yeah, it was heavy, but it wasn't hardback, so it wasn't a pain to carry around. And look how long it's lasted. This is a 16-year-old book, and it's lasted. And it's not like brand new, is it? But it's lasted a long, long time. You had all your weapons in the back. All of your weapons for all the armies. You had all your armour values. You know, they had a lot less models on the table back then. But there you go. You know, you've got everything in one book that you would carry around. And this was, when I was collecting, this was kind of like the Holy Grail, really. You know, this was incredible when I first got it and first got into the hobby. I mean, it's nice just to look at all the older pictures and see, you know, see all the artwork that they had back then as well as so much more they gave you. I think this book on its own, I think, was about £40, but the set with lots of miniatures like Space Marine Army and Dark Eldar Army and the templates, and I think they even gave you some dye as well. I think that was about £50, and that was for this like £40 book. It might have been £30. I'm not quite sure. It might well have been £30, 30 or 40. But either way, people would just buy the big box set. And believe it or not, this big heavy book was in that box set. It wasn't a smaller book or anything like that. You had some whippy sticks, called that for obvious reasons, or range rulers, as some people call them, range sticks. But it had everything, and it was, you know, you buy the box with this big thick rule book in there and some sheets and all the things you really need. All you really needed was some glue, some spray, and a few paints and a couple of brushes. That's it, and you could start the hobby off. You could have battles against each other. So yeah, there you go. That's my little nostalgia for this 3rd edition. I'm not going to put all of the editions in one video because I think that's just silly. And it would just, the video would be about 40 minutes long. So that's the first in my little series of the Warhammer 40,000 rules nostalgia videos. In the next episode, I will be looking at the 4th edition. Where Games Workshop discovered hardback and colour art, and yeah, it gives you a bit of a taster there. So, and this book here was made in 2004. So six years on, from 98 to 2004, 6 years. We then got a new rule book, and that's what it used to be like. It used to be about 6 years. Then they changed it to 4, and now for some bizarre reason they've got it in 2-year intervals. But either way, this will be on the next video, so hope you join me for that one. Thanks for watching. The Emperor Protects.